You know, it's a common problem we're going to make up a name for. Tree blindness.
Oh.
You're strolling through the neighborhood and you realize you can't identify any of the trees around you.
Yes, but fear not. A Portland arborist is making sure we no longer grope around the dark wondering what leafy sentinels stand in our community there. So Casey Clapp is out with a new book called The Trees Around You, helping you recognize what's growing in your community. And Casey's joining us in the studio now this morning with what the book can teach you and why we wanted to tackle this project in the first place. Good morning.
Yeah, hey, good morning, guys. Thanks very much for having me.
Yeah, this is great. Okay, talk about your background before we dive into your mission here, getting to know the trees around you.
Definitely. So I grew up here outside of Portland, and I went to Oregon State, then went to U of O. Actually, I'm sorry, backwards, U of O, then Oregon State. And studied forestry, landscape architecture, all these things about trees, and I really just loved to identify trees. So ended up doing too much work and realizing that I really liked being back home, so moved around the country, came back to Portland, and started working for the city of Portland. I've been an arborist for about 15 years or so now, and realized one of the most important things is understanding how to identify trees. No matter what you do as an arborist, the very first step is understanding what that tree is. No matter what, if you're doing risk assessments, if you're trying to figure out what it is to, is it going to grow well, that kind of thing. You always got to start with how to identify it. So it became my passion, and I just wanted to kind of explore that as much as possible.
All right.
That is really cool. I think it gives you a different appreciation, too, for the world you live in when you actually can look around and recognize, you know, the things that you're seeing, what you're looking at. What inspired you to put all of that knowledge into a book?
Yeah, well, there was kind of this gap. I've taught tree identification for years and years around the Pacific Northwest, and one of the things that people would always ask is, hey, where do I start? How do I actually go out and find the trees? Because people really love to identify and understand and make a connection with the plants around them. So they said, well, how do I start? And I said, well, there's not really a book that really describes how to start with the trees that we actually have here. They're trees that cover every native tree in Oregon and Washington and the entire United States, but there are none that say, well, hey, this tree actually isn't ever planted here, and this one's invasive, so you'll find it, but it's not native. So this kind of brings everything together to say, it doesn't matter if it's native, non-native, invasive. If you walk out your front door, I have that tree in this book.
That's pretty cool.
That's really neat.
And I have to ask about these pine cones that you brought in. Are these all, I mean, some of them are just monsters.
They
Are these all native to the Pacific Northwest?
No, not all of them, but some of them are. But a lot of these you can find around. And the reason I like to bring cones, I actually collect them. I actually have tattoos going all the way up my arm.
I was going to say, you have a pine cone in your hand.
Exactly. I got all the way up. This is my arboretum.
Oh, that's actually really good. I like that a lot.
Thank you. So my favorite thing is to actually collect cones of all different kinds. So pine cones and spruce cones, Douglas fir cones, all that kind of thing. And I ended up putting them in jars that fit just perfectly. This one is a little bit of a different example. These are Don redwoods, which are our state fossil. This is a tree that grows.
That's a thing? We have state fossils?
We have state fossil. The Don
I didn't even know
redwood
that.
is one of those. So if you go to John Day, you dig around and you get some fossils, it will be of the same exact species that this is, but now this one is only native to a small grove in China.
Wow.
We found that in 1945, and now we plant it all over the place.
Wow.
So that is a non-native tree that was native here 50 million years ago, but now we can find planted all over the place. Go to Hoyt Arboretum, go down your street, we got dozens of them.
Interesting.
And it's so incredible to think a redwood, one of the largest organisms on the planet, comes out of this teeny little pine cone.
Yes, little guy.
Exactly. And in fact, this is a Don redwood, so it's a different species than the one you're thinking of down in California. But this one's actually even more unique because it's deciduous. So it's a conifer.
Oh, interesting.
But it drops all of its leaves. So right now, in the next couple weeks, it'll be turning a brilliant, gorgeous yellow color.
Wild.
That is really cool.
Okay, and then I know we're going to have to move it along, but I have to, I just need to hold up this
Please.
pine cone
Absolutely.
so
Hold the
people
big one.
understand how big this
That's a
is.
big pine
Here's my
cone.
hand for scale.
There you go.
This sucker's huge.
Yeah, that's a sugar pine right there. That
Sugar
is
pine?
native to our area down in the southern Cascades.
Wow. I had no idea they made pine cones this big.
That is
There
so
you go.
cool.
That's wild.
If you need more tree knowledge, and if the arboretum was not enough of a pun for you, you also have a podcast, Completely Arbitrary.
Exactly.
Tell us about that.
Yeah, so that's a podcast I started with my good friend Alex Croson, and we did it in the depths of the pandemic. We were like wanting to get some creative energies out, and I wanted to talk about trees. So we got together and we said, let's just do something. Let's have a good time. And we pick a species. Doesn't matter what kind of tree. It could be any tree in the entire world. And we discuss how to identify it and then talk about some topic related to it. So how does it grow? How does it react? Is there some religion that's related to it? Is there some way that it has some impact on humans now today or way back when, food, it really doesn't matter. Literally any topic is related to trees, and that's what we talk about.
Well, I'm sure you cover a range of topics. You know, the emerald ash borer has been in the headlines too.
Yeah.
So if you want to maybe ask those questions or, you know, talk to them about the book, you're going to be at Powell's too here soon.
I will, yeah. Tomorrow or on Friday, I'll be at Pal's at 7 o'clock.
Wonderful.
Excellent. Casey, thanks for joining us.
Yeah,
Thanks so much for having
this
me,
is
guys.
so fun. Go
Appreciate it.
long.
Great to talk with you. Yeah, if you want to learn more about the trees around you and have a conversation with Casey, he is going to be with Portland singer-songwriter Alex Croson tomorrow at Powell City of Books on Burnside. You can find your link to order a copy of The Trees Around You and more info about that Powell's Talk tomorrow when you check out this story on coin.com. That is just too cool.
Yeah, it's
Look
fun.
at these pine cones.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
From